Hey traders, Jeffrey from Strategic Day Traders. Great to be back with you for a recap of this past week and a look at what's coming up. All of you who are members received my currency strength Forex pairs the night before placing any trades, and that's always going to be between 6 and 8 p.m. more or less Eastern Time. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. As always, all the information provided here is for educational purposes only, not an offer or a recommendation to trade futures, stocks, options, or Forex. And if you haven't had a chance to read the rest of this, please take a minute and go through everything. Now, going into this past week, we had a lot of very high impact news, okay? We had Australian inflation news. We had Bank of Japan interest rate news. European zone inflation news. FOMC day, so Tuesday and Wednesday, the Fed met before Congress, and on Wednesday they released their statement about interest rates and their indication of what's going to happen moving forward. And then on Thursday, we had Bank of England's interest rates, and back on Friday, U.S. unemployment and big inflation indication, and all of these were super high impact, gave a lot of color to currency strength. So that's one of the things that I factor in to making my predictions, whether or not any individual currency pairs are going to look like they are stronger or weaker over the next 12 to 24 hour period. And then using a combination of indicators and my parabolic price movement strategy, we choose a place to get in, ride until we get a high probability target, and then ride runners for the best possible outcome. Even if it is Eastern Time and we can't follow the Tokyo and London sessions, these trades are designed to follow those. And then when you're up and back at your desk before the New York opens, you can continue to let them run or close them out, or they will have closed out already. So here's how we did. Okay, you can see the 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, and the 1st. Okay, so we just had a couple of weak prediction trades and just had a few pips on these two longs. Combination of longs and shorts on Monday after the markets opened up. A little bit better, total of about 47 pips, 28 for almost 70 pips overall. And then after we had some of the high impact news, great day on the trades called on the 30th for 430 pips. Spectacular on the following day with all of that high impact news, almost 900 pips on the day. And as we go into Friday, which is always a little bit weaker, especially after so much high impact news, a little bit weaker, but we stayed in the green with 56 pips. Now, as an example, the tiniest lot size that you could have traded for any of these, 0.01 lots, we had a total of a net of about $100. The average trade of 0.1 lot, okay, that's a regular micro lot, almost $1,000 for all these trades. And if you are trading in a bigger account, either a prop firm account with $50,000 net balance, which you could trade a half of a full-size lot, then you banked almost $5,000 for the week. So great week. Now, looking forward into the week ahead, I'm going to show you, I'll let you know what the high impact news, but let me just give you an example of one of those trades, okay? So as many of you know, I like to use NinjaTrader to place these trades because I can attach my runner to this linear regression moving average. For those of you that were in our live session, I showed you how we did that. And if anyone else who is new to the group or thinking about coming in, just shoot me an email and I will give you a link to that. But we are looking at the trade. So the Euro NZD was a call to go, let's see, short on the 31st. Okay, so the call came out around 7 to 8 p.m. Very flat looking, but by 10 p.m. I went ahead and put the short on, so I entered right over here And then after an hour or two, I'm not even at my desk any longer. The trade is working. My stop loss was way up here. And my take profit is always going to be down at the bottom of this envelope. So as we worked our way up and came back down, we hit our first target early in the morning at about 4 a.m., 4:30 Eastern Time. Now, as you can see, if you look at these boxes here, this is the Sydney session, and then the Tokyo session in this pinkish color over here. So when we got in over here, the prediction of the currency strength really played out through the Tokyo session right into London. This is the move that we're looking to capture. Part of Tokyo and then supercharged into London. And then in this particular trade, it just kept going. But we were trailing it after we hit our first target behind the linear regression moving average. As soon as we crossed over it, we were out right over here. If you were in front of the computer, you could have trailed it down all the way down here, and I would have suggested always getting out right in front of this huge, huge demand zone, okay? So this is an example of what our trades look like. Now, in the week coming up, a little bit quieter week, but we do have some news on the global front. First things first, before even mentioning this, is the threat of very intense global conflict. Whether war breaks out throughout the countries in the Middle East is always going to be super impactful, okay? It's going to impact the US dollar. It's going to impact gold prices. So everything, and then to a lesser extent the euro and the British pound. So keep in mind, anything that we look at and we see is always going to be overshadowed in a week that is that there's a strong threat of very, very intense global news, okay? So pay attention to that. But Monday is a relatively quiet day. PMI may move the U.S. markets a little bit, but I don't see it necessarily moving the U.S. currencies that much. On Tuesday, we have Australia interest rate news. And then later in the day, New Zealand inflation unemployment news. And then later in the week, we're back with Canadian unemployment inflation news. So a little bit of important news coming up. I'll be paying attention to the global news, but for the most part, not nearly as strongly impactful as it was last week. So we might have a little bit quieter week. We're in the middle of the summer, first week in August, going into especially Europe, where Europe will shut down, especially in the last 2 weeks of August. Things will quiet down a little bit, getting ready for the push back up after U.S. Labor Day, first weekend in September. So that's a quick recap of how we did this past week. If anybody would like some additional information, please feel free to contact me. You can email me directly. You can go right onto the site and get some information. Join our Telegram group. I work with everyone that is a member in my private group, teaching them how to place these trades. If NinjaTrader is not a platform that you use, we also use MetaTrader and TradingView. The key is to be able to have a direction on trading currency pairs and the ability to trade these micro lots as you're slowly starting to build them up. So that's it for now. We'll see you in the next one. Good trading, and we will see you on the post a little bit later on for tonight's trades after I finish analyzing the currency strengths this evening, Sunday evening, and we'll see how this one turns out. See you in the next one.